Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for some indie comic reviews, and in these indie comic reviews I am covering Knights vs Samurai issue 2 along with Redcoat issue 7. I'll now get things ready and organised for the first one that I'll be reviewing out of these. So as we move into the first one, which is Knights vs Samurai, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside of the story? In some essence it does, to which I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the internal art as we have a look around the beginning, middle and of course the end, and also what's happening story-wise with the characters. So as we start to move towards the beginning of the story, we finally get the Knights versus the Samurai within the story. But if I were to point out one thing, is that we don't really learn the names of who the samurai are, or who they are representing, as they also come across as appearance almost, I guess, Oni or demon-like. But that's also got to do with the Japanese armor and how it's presented within the story. As we move towards the middle of the story, we still get a bit of a conflict that is happening between some of them, whilst others are attempting to, I guess, break the language barrier between them, as well as to work out who is saying what, until the knights become the captives of the samurai, along with many of their men. I must admit, I really enjoyed the art in this, to which I give it a 7 out of 10. Next is the area of the story. First things first, do we get anything indication as to when this takes place time-wise? Nothing at all. Location, it really didn't carry over the location to which the knights were going to which I think in that it causes this story to lose a lot of points. And I really would like to enjoy this series, but the way that this series is coming across, it feels like it might be better off in the trade instead of like giving us like good individual stories each with every single issue, but still playing a part for the whole story. Next is the cast of characters, to which we only got the one character that I managed to get the name of, which was Charles Ward. For the overall story rating, I give it a 5 out of 10. And as exciting as this was for the first, I really dislike that this has actually lost some points for me, because I would really like to see this series succeed. And I don't think it's going to happen. Not with writing like this. Alright, now it's time to move into Redcoat issue 7. So as we move into Redcoat issue 7, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? Sure enough it does, to which I give a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation of the area of the internal art as we begin to see what's happening with the characters around the beginning, middle and also the end. So as the story begins, or as we have a look around the beginning of the story, we have the character of Simon Pure, and he's also getting himself ready to go out. But who's the person who he's getting ready to meet? We'll soon find out around the middle. We learn that the person that he is catching up with is the character of Albert Einstein, who we saw in the earlier issues within the story. And of course we get to see that this Einstein is a little bit older now, so we're no longer in the past, like where we got to see a younger Albert Einstein in the story. And this is actually moving towards the character's death. And it's actually quite interesting as to what will happen from here after Simon Pure actually loses one of his friends. But we also learn that it's not his first friend that he's lost. So moving towards the end, we finally get to see the death of Albert Einstein, his close friend. And he also leaves him a bit of a message of sorts for him to work out. and that will take place in the next issue. For this, I gave the art a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the story. First things first, did we get anything in relation of time? Sure enough, we did. We ended up covering the years of 1892, 1782, 1845, 1909, and also 1755. A number of these dates were also in relation to years that he had also lost people, so that was really well presented within the story. The key location that really stands out in the story was actually the hospital, to which he got to see Albert Einstein. The key cast of characters consisting mainly of Simon Pure. We did have Benedict Arnold, only mentioned by name in the thing that's sort of like addition, and also the Founding Fathers cult group. And last but not least, the character of Albert Einstein. For the overall rating for this, I give a 7.5 out of 10. Thank you, Jeff Johns. I have actually really been enjoying this series. And if I were to say one thing, I'd really want to get the trade paperbacks to this, or the graphic novels to this. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.